podcast in the world that helps athletes develop proficiency and assisting their passion for the game they love. I got a very good guest today. His name is, I'm going to call him Coach Zach Zoltz. He is also has been in the MLB as well, and he's also a youth instructor or director for teams and player development. He empowers players at the youth level. So you're in for a special exclusive treat today. If you have your feelings on your shoulder, I'll suggest you to get them off your shoulder today because it's going to be a treat. Hey Zach, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Appreciate you having me on.
Good man. I just wanted to go ahead and just get this thing rocking and rolling and get to the point. I want to ask you some questions with the youth is a problem, but besides the youth, we have some problems with the high school level as well, Zach.
Yeah.
You're a developmental coach, so you deal with fundamentals and basics. I
hmm
coach in high school here in South Florida, and I'm learning more and more. This is my 10th year coaching, and they don't have any fundamentals. Can you explain to me what's your opinion on it? Why? I know the answer, but for the guests, can you explain to me why people want to have the glitter without the foundation? They want to have
Exactly.
the bling bling without
hmm
getting dirty. Explain to me the importance of having fundamentals and developmental at an early stage.
Of course. I mean, so what I see is everybody is looking to go 0 to 100 real quick, where you got to take those baby steps to go through the whole process, right? So for me, I got my son who's 9 years old right now. I got my daughter who's 7. She's playing softball. But it's the focus on the fundamentals, the focus on the little things. And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
see with a lot of these high school kids right now. You can just tell that at an early age, they were not taught the little
Right.
things, with just in baseball, because I'm in the thick of it, and I played at the highest level, but I see it where kids just lack, the little things of like how to properly feel the ball, how to properly catch the ball, how to hold the bat properly. Like these are little things that you're picking out on high school kids. You're like,
Right.
You never taught
What's
this
going on?
at a young age here. It's a head scratcher.
Right, you're right. And it's just funny you said that because I want to hit that topic because that's something you are very passionate about,
hmm
and it's a trouble for me because I actually coach travel ball as well, and I'll be coaching travel ball during the baseball season, and it bothers me, Zach. Like, and we're gonna talk about this other topic. We're gonna talk about we got uh, parents trying to be coaches,
Oh boy.
and that's
hmm
another issue we're gonna talk about. But from you playing at the high level, I played
hmm
college baseball as well, had quite a few opportunities to play independent ball. Got cut at a tryout because I had a rotator cuff. I had a car accident. But the
hmm
point I'm saying is, based on me and you. Let's talk about me and you.
Yeah.
When we grew up, I'm used to going outside playing baseball. It doesn't matter who's out there.
hmm
I'm used to running sprints, going to the cage, hitting off a tee, whatever I gotta do, just make it happen.
Yep.
Because there's something about having talent and having a work ethic.
hmm
Talent versus work ethic. Can you elaborate on talent versus the desire to just want to play?
Well, this is what's really different about today is because, like you said, when I was growing up, when at a young age, when I would get home from school, it's like you get off the bus, you go home, you hop on your bike, and you're going to somebody's house, right?
That's
Somebody in
it.
the neighborhood, and it doesn't matter what
Matter
sport you're playing. You can be baseball, basketball,
football. It
football,
doesn't matter.
anything, soccer. I mean, even if none of us played soccer, we're like, you
That's
know what?
it.
We just feel like playing soccer today, right?
Right. That's
So
right.
that's what's lost today. Everything's always like has there's so much pressure on everybody, and for what reason? I don't know. Is it
Mm,
because the parents? Is it because the parents are trying to live vicariously through their kids, and they put all this immense pressure on them for no reason?
mm,
Could be, but
mm.
I don't know. For me, how I was brought up with my mom and dad, they
Right.
never forced me to do
Right.
anything. And I
Right.
think that's why I had
Right.
such a strong mind and a strong foundation is if
Mm,
I wanted to be great, all I had to do was ask them, but it was mostly like on my own. I didn't grow up
right.
with a lot. So both of my parents worked
Yeah.
2 jobs each. So I
Mm,
was always trying to figure out some way for myself to get better.
mm. That's good, man. I mean, it's good, Zach.
hmm
It's interesting you said that because my next question is, we know the answer, but I'm trying to educate the audience because I'm actually writing a book right now. It's called "Are You Really D1?
Uh-huh.
Are You Really D1?" You
Yeah.
catch that, right? Are you
Oh
really
yeah.
D1?
Oh yeah.
And one of the topics I talk about is um, I'm not gonna give all of my nuggets, but I'm talking about character. I talk
Mhm.
about character because that's one thing that you can be a 5 star, you can have all the PG rankings, all that stuff. But I have learned because I've coached these kids, especially when you get travel ball, you get
Mhm.
anybody and everybody. And one of the things about character is something you don't see when you first start playing, but
Yeah.
as you play, when the going gets tough,
Mhm.
you know what I'm talking about. When the going gets tough and the rubber hits the road, you really know what's going on. Let me give
Yeah.
you an example. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
When we played baseball, if you hit me like you're a pitcher, just say you're a pitcher, you hit me, I'm gonna give you that look,
Mhm.
and we may bounce off each other, but we still gonna be friends. But we're not gonna be friends on the field,
Mhm.
period,
Yep.
because we competitive. But
Mhm.
now these kids now is you got parents jumping out of the bleachers and throwing stuff, cursing out, getting ejected, and all this other nonsense. Can you elaborate on going to the next level and how important character is from a foundation till you get to the next level?
I think that's a great point for sure. It's because you're always going to have your boys, right? You have your boys when you're playing, right? But
Right,
as soon as you step over that white line, as soon as you step on the court, it's
right,
time to go to war. You know what I
right,
mean? But then afterwards, it's like you step away from it and you're like, okay, we can go back, we can hang out, we can do whatever, right?
right.
But as far as character, a lot of that today, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Mm,
I don't know what came from it. I don't know where it went, but there's a lot of kids with so many egos where, they don't want to be coachable or little things like
mm,
that. And you try to pull them to the side and be like, listen, dude, like, I don't know what's going on with you right now. And they look at
right,
you like you're
right,
crazy. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to help you. I don't walk
right,
around with a Mets
right,
logo on my forehead
right,
saying, hey, this
right.
is where I played. It's like, all I'm trying to do is just kind of help you out. But if you don't have character going up through the system, like you're in for a rude awakening.
Whew. Wow, Zach, that's good stuff. Which leads me to the
Hmm.
next question: is coachable.
Oh man.
This is the next question. As you went from one level to the next, from high school to college to pro ball, my question to you is why is being coachable so important? Which we know what it is, but like I said, I'm really tagging off my book because I talk about being coachable, and you talk about that a lot on your
Yeah.
post. I've noticed that.
Hmm.
Why is it so important to be coachable at every level? And I'm gonna throw another caveat in, Zach.
Hmm.
This is just me talking.
Yeah.
And bottom line is this: if you're not coachable, other words, you are a tyrant at home.
Yeah.
That's how I call it. You are a
Hmm.
tyrant at home. You only what you are on the field, what you are when you're at home. And
Yeah.
for the people that don't want to hear it, I don't care. This is what it is because at the end of the day, we're trying to help the next generation
Yeah.
understand life skills. This is beyond baseball. This is life skills. So,
Hmm.
can you elaborate about the importance of being coachable from 5 years old all the way up to the MLB?
Yeah, I mean, I think it started with me growing up. My dad was my college coach, right? So
Okay,
he's been a
okay,
college coach now for 39 years, and he's got
okay.
he's got over 1,000 wins at the Division 3 level. So for me, it was always brought up like you got to treat everybody with respect, right? And you always got to be open minded
Mm-hmm.
for whoever it is, right? Like if somebody's trying to tell me a little bit something, like maybe I don't agree with it, right?
Correct.
But I'm not going to turn face to them and say, no, 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 you don't know what you're talking about.
Talking about, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to treat them with respect because out of all the coaches that I had throughout my career, I kind of piecemealed a little bit from every one of them in order to
Yeah.
build up my own kind of
Oh,
repertoire for when I can go
right.
out on that field and perform.
Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
funny you said that because I'm the same way, and we do that also from our upbringing, from how your parents treated you, and how
Yeah.
we learn. You got to respect authority. I'm gonna say it again. You have to respect authority.
Yeah.
That means anyone that's in charge, because you never know
Hmm.
if you're gonna be in charge. You may
Yeah.
be in charge next year,
Yeah.
and you're gonna reap what you sow. And I said that because I mean, we talked about character, we talked about coachable, because a lot of kids want to be coachable. Let's talk about this bling bling thing that they have on the field.
I'll
Now,
tell you one
I'm
thing. I'm glad you were getting into that because I
I'm
was
finna
going to
get
go off
into
of
it,
something. Yeah.
Zach. I'm
Yes.
getting ready to get into it because let's go back to us. Let's talk about us.
Hmm.
When we were playing, we can showboat, but it's not like, okay, if we're losing, let's talk about this. If you're losing a baseball game, any
Hmm.
game, and you're down by 10 runs, and it's the last inning, there ain't no reason to flip the bat. There's no reason to
Not at
flip
all.
the bat. Zero.
Hmm.
Okay, if you're losing and you just, did something miraculous, you made a backhand flip, whatever the case may be, and you're losing and you made an out, but you still lost. There's no
Hmm.
reason to celebrate
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, that tells me that's a character flaw.
Yeah.
That tells me you're not coachable, and I and tells me because kids think they're gonna get a scholarship, Zach, because they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, I made that flashy play. I made that backhand.
Hmm.
Please talk about this. I call it the bling bling generation. And when is it a good time?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Zach. I'm not trying to laugh. When is it a good time to be bling bling, or is it needed?
Well, it's about respecting the ones that have played before you. Like if when I was playing in the big leagues, and if I would have hit a double, and I would have got on second base, and I would have did some type of dance party, one of the veteran guys, like Troy Hawkins, would have done this. He would have pulled me to the side and said, "Dude, are you serious right now? What are you actually thinking? Like, is there like I feel like there's no time there's no space for that. Like I don't care. You see kids in travel ball right now too, and it's like you're down by 10, you're
Right.
about to get 10 run, you hit a double, and it means absolutely nothing, but
Nothing.
you're on second base doing some type of dance move. Like it's like watching a Broadway show. For what reason? I don't know. I don't get it, but it also comes back to coaching. It comes back to the
Right.
coaching, and the coach needs to set that standard of what
Hmm.
good looks like on the
Right.
field.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Right. I'm glad you said that. What's going to lead me to the next thing is leadership.
Yeah.
Do you think um do you think that all coaches are leaders and vice versa? The reason I said that, you know where I'm going. The reason I
Hmm.
said that is because I have had some encounters, especially with travel coaches,
Yeah.
because some of them don't even know how to coach. They're doing it to make money, which
Hmm.
we know. Um, what do you think about that? Because a lot of guys think just because they're a coach, they're a leader. And can you explain the difference between leadership and coaching?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I don't know of a lot of coaches that are out there. I know a handful that are also good leaders, good mentors. Right now, you watch it and you're like, you watch College World Series, you watch Tennessee, and I watch it and I kind of blew up on them on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but I'm like, I can't watch this right now. The guy's hitting a
Right.
home run and he's going running around the bases and he's flipping the bird off the people in the stands. Like, what does that come back to? That comes back
Correct.
to that coach being that leader, you know?
Right.
And you see it with travel ball now too, is because if you're a good player, right,
Right.
you might have somebody that sends you a direct message on Instagram or Twitter
Right.
or something and says, "Hey, I want you to come down and guest play for me
Right.
this weekend," right?
Right.
It honestly doesn't matter who that coach is. If
Mm-hmm.
you're surrounded by the 12 other really good individuals and go out there and you can just ball out, well, then so be it. But is that coach actually coaching? You know what I mean? Like, is he
Mm.
actually leading you guys out there? Is he actually you teaching life skills on and off the field?
Wow.
Or is it just because you're there chasing a trophy?
Right.
And that's what I
Man,
feel like a
that's
lot of it is too, is like they're chasing in college, they're chasing the money, right? In high
right.
school, they're
Right.
they're chasing all this nonsense where it's like, hey, we got to focus on what we're here to execute is.
Right. And the bottom line, Zach, is I call it clout chasing.
Hmm.
You're trying to chase the bag, as they say nowadays, chase the bag. And
Yeah.
when we were growing up, because I went to NAIA school and I went to a
Yep.
JUCO, I chased the dream.
Hmm.
I just chased the dream, and whatever happens, it just happens. And a
Hmm.
lot of times, I think people put the horse before the cart. They
Yep.
really put the horse before the cart. And I got a couple things that I talk about, like for example, compare. Let's talk about these two legendaries, King Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, well, people say, well, Barry Bonds cheated. I'm like, please shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, he did this, he did that. And these are most of the time the people are talking on the ones that never play baseball. I'm just gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna call it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care. And then
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. was, he was just like mosaic. He was just like he had an art about his
That's just
swing.
Junior. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just a bad guy, and people think just because I watch some film and I do this, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Talk about work ethic and what how why is it? Because people think just because I I have a trainer, Zach. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. I got a trainer and I go to practice. That's all I need. Explain to me what do you think it's going to take for them to get to that next level? Let's just say college, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about setting up a routine. I learned it from an early age of like even in high school, like I was getting up at 4:15 in the morning, getting up at 4:15, and I would be going to the gym, getting some work in. Like I was telling this on a podcast the other day. Is like I set my day. If my day is 24 hours, I would split that up into three 8-hour days, right?
Yeah,
So I split up into three 8-hour days. So I know I needed to get 8 hours of sleep. I know I was going to be in school for 8 hours, but then the other 8 hours, okay, what am I going to do to get accomplished to try to bring out the best version of myself? So we just had to map it out. So next thing you know, over the course of a year, how much more time and effort did I put into me than somebody else?
Mm,
I was always one
wow.
step ahead of everybody else.
Wow. Zach, man, that's powerful right there, dog.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But it's
that's
just I was just motivated. Like I just
right.
wanted to be great, but I never acted like an idiot when I was
Yeah.
doing stuff. Sorry to be
Yeah.
blunt about it, but I just was never, acting like a fool out there on the
Yeah.
field. Like
Right.
if I was good, I never like showed it or
Right.
acted like an idiot, like I said
Right.
out there. Like every, my teammates would kind of, I guess, kind of just follow what I was doing, not by my words, but my actions.
Actions. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Action speaks louder than words. I
Yes.
appreciate you saying that because which leads me to the next question I'm gonna talk about is, social media.
Hmm.
I'm going there
Yeah.
because you know I really didn't have social media. We didn't have that. I mean, I'm used to like you have to just go out there and grind it out and play. Just play
Hmm.
hard and put yourself in position so you can be noticed. Now I'm not saying that, but now there's so many distractions, and the kids now say, well, we have social media, and this is my rule. This is my rule.
Hmm.
If you want something bad enough, if you really, really want something bad enough, you'll make time to do it. You got a
Yeah.
great analogy, 24 hours divided by three. I'm
Hmm.
gonna use that. I'm gonna use that one. We got
Yep.
20. Everybody has 24 hours. My question is, what are you doing with the 24 hours?
Yep.
Let's talk about social media. How do you tell this high school kid or a youth kid that's trying to get to the next level, how to get to the next level? How to they don't understand social media can break you or make you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
Can you elaborate on that if you
Well,
don't mind?
yeah, a lot of these kids are posting about stuff that they're doing, right? More than they're actually doing it. And they're saying, "Oh, I'm at the gym. I'm doing this. I've been doing that." Have you really? Or because right now you're on your phone and you're posting about something right here. It's like eliminate all this extra nonsense and just focus on you. Because everything in this world today with youth sports is all about me,
Right.
instead of the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just tough. Like I see kids all the time, and it's like, oh, this kid's committed here. This kid's committed here. I do not care. I
Care.
do not care where you're committed. I went to a small Division 3 school, right? I could have went to a high end Division 1 school, South Carolina, one of the top teams in the country at that time. Did
Mm,
I want to go there? Sure, but was I comfortable going to play for my dad because I knew he was going to get me great? Well, then, yeah. But I'm
mm.
not over there. Like that's when like Facebook was coming. I
Right.
wasn't on that stuff all the time. That's not going to get me better.
Right. Right. It's
Hmm.
like you had your priorities. You knew what was the best thing for you, which leads me to the next question. Of talk, man, you're all in my book already. You're all in the
Uh huh.
book, and it's funny you said that because I was thinking about some guys. Well, a lot of guys think they're going D1.
Yeah.
They really think that, Zach. I mean, everybody and their mom think they're going D1, and you went to a D3. I went to an NAI school, and I went to a JUCO.
They think they're going D1 at age 10.
I'm sorry. We all that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So my question is this. Let's talk about this one thing. Go where you are appreciated.
Yeah.
Don't go where you want to go. Because a lot of
Hmm.
times people make decisions which I have to and you probably have as well, we made decisions based on our emotions.
Hmm.
We didn't base it on getting wise counsel, asking somebody, what do you think? Get some real hard facts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people go to people because it makes them feel good. Oh, you're so
Yeah.
good and you're so great. And I said that because I have a kid that I coached travel ball with last year. I'm not coaching him this year. And this is funny. This is real
Hmm.
fun. You're gonna like this. So I'm just a straightforward guy. If you suck, you suck. You
Hmm.
know, I'm not gonna curse you out, but if you stink, you stink. You suck, you suck. And I
Hmm.
said that because there's a kid on my team that he was a shortstop, tall guy. He's
Hmm.
probably about six,
Hmm.
and he probably weighs about 160 pounds. He's real skinny.
Hmm.
His feet are heavy. He got heavy feet. I'm like, dude.
Hmm.
And I'm like, and he got a rifle. I was like, you might be a better outfielder.
Yeah.
And I was trying to let him know that. And so at the end of the season, I didn't tell him he couldn't play shortstop for now, but I said, if you're going to get to that next level, the way you are, you can run and you got a nice arm and your feet are really heavy, you
Hmm.
might be a better outfielder. And I said that because shortstop is a prime position, which you can elaborate on that. And I was trying to
Hmm.
let him know that. But the key is this, listen to this, Zach. To this day, I don't coach him because he went to 17U. His dad said I was the best coach he's ever had because I spoke the truth.
Because you're being
So
honest.
I was
Yeah.
being honest with him, and
Hmm.
and to this day, I just talked to him yesterday. He's like, "Man, I'm going to college, and I just want to tell you thank you. Can you continue to keep talking to me?" Which that's
Hmm.
character building, that's
Yep.
coachable, and also I've given the truth. So can you elaborate on that as far as because some kids don't think they can. Okay, some kids think that I'm stuck on this position, and this is the
Yeah.
position I'm going to play. Talk about that.
But it's just off of what you just said. It's the truth because you care, right? If I'm going to be there and I'm just going to go and I'm like, oh man, 6'6", he wants to play shortstop. Okay, but is that the best thing for him? No. You were honest. You had a great conversation with him. All of a sudden, now you look back at it, and the dad's like, dude, that was the best conversation that you had. You
Right.
know what I mean? But as far as, I mean, I, I don't know. I just get stuck because these kids, they get stuck on, hey, I'm going to play shortstop, that's my position, and all this nonsense. It's like, dude, you got to be able to play multiple positions, but it all comes back to the ego, the character of, and being coachable. Like you
Right.
said, if that kid was coachable, then all of a sudden he made that adjustment and went out there.
Yeah, and that's just something I wanted to talk about because at the end of the day, for the people who are listening to this podcast, You Going
Yeah.
Pro podcast, I got Zach Lutz. He has worked and still works with youth development. He's been
Hmm.
to the MLB. He's played college baseball. He has been through the ranks. And I've said that because a lot of times people think, well, I don't need to listen to you. I don't need to listen to
Yeah.
you. You know what you're
Hmm.
talking about. And then they go out there and they make a mess of the whole situation, which leads me to the next thing I want to talk about is the importance of picking the right school.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times, not just getting an offer, but a lot of times people think that you get full 100% scholarships
Hmm. Oh,
in baseball.
here you
In
go.
baseball.
You got another thing coming. Hmm.
So we're going to go there. I mean, and I'm saying this because people think that, well, he's got a scholarship. Well, that doesn't mean you got a full scholarship. Can you break down? Because you went to a D3, I went to NAI. Tell the audience about scholarships in college for baseball.
Well, it's tough, okay, because we're talking about social media, right? We're talking about social media, and these kids want to post that they're committed to a Division 1 school. That's what they're striving for. They're striving for that post of, hey, I'm going to this Division 1 school. I'm going to North Carolina. Is that the best thing for you? Probably not, right? Like for me, like I said, I went to a Division 3 school. There's no money getting to you,
That's right.
right? So you have to earn your spot, right? At Division 1, yeah, there can be money thrown around at you, but it doesn't matter. You still have to go out there and you still have to perform. Just because you're given some money to go somewhere doesn't mean you're guaranteed a spot right here. You may get a little bit more of an opportunity, right? Because they're a little bit invested in you. But other than that, you gotta earn it.
Woo! Zach, I just gotta say,
Yeah.
I'm saying
Mm.
that because one last thing, one more last question before you get out of here. I want to ask about the difference between when you get a scholarship. What is an offer, What is an
Hmm.
offer and what is a commitment? Because I'm gonna break it down and we're gonna close it out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys think when they get that offer, Zach, when they get that offer, you know
Yeah.
where I'm going.
Hmm.
And then when fall comes, they got 30 guys, 28 guys show up. And then they looking around like, wait a minute, what's going? Because they have never seen this before. They think when they get that offer, can you
Yeah.
explain to them that you have to? You talked about work. You have to get through the fall to make it to the spring.
Exactly.
Can
Right.
you talk about that before we close it out? Because I just
Yeah.
have to say that, man.
Because an offer sounds great, right? But that offer isn't signed, sealed, and delivered until you sign on that dotted line, right? But then as soon as you go to, like right now, all of my seniors that are heading into college, right? Like they have to earn their spot, earn it. It's not like you might look around, you're gonna see all these kids at these at like the first day of camp or whatever. You look around and be like, oh my God, there's like 60 kids here right now. What's going on here, right? So what's that coach going to do? That coach is going to be watching every single move that you're making with how you're going to act, right, on and off the field, right? If you're a good teammate, if you're more of a me guy, like did they bring in the right person? Like there's so many different factors that go into it. Hmm.
I'm laughing because I know I went
Yeah.
through that, and I'm saying that because I had to realize that I come to work. I
Yeah.
come to work, and I
Hmm.
made it. Well, I made the team. I just didn't play that much.
Yeah.
And, and that's just part of the process, because everybody wants everything quick. They want a microwave style. They don't want to go in the crock pot. They don't want to get in the oven and bake. They want to get it quick. But a lot of times, things that take a long time are normally they taste better. Normally,
Hmm.
when your mother makes a meal, a big Thanksgiving meal,
Hmm.
normally when she makes that meal, it's normally a lot better and it lasts for a couple of days. Versus she does something quick, it goes in and out. And I said
Yeah.
that because a lot of times we as human beings we want things fast. There's a
Hmm.
time for fast and there's a time that for the process. And I want to say thank you, man. For I mean, I know you got to go. We don't have a lot of time, but we hit a couple factors. And if you could close out with some closing remarks and give out your information if you want to get for some kids to come out and get some of your services, whatever you want to say. I just want to go ahead and give you that opportunity.
Yeah, so for me, you just follow me on LinkedIn. That's how we connected. Obviously, that's kind of taken off real quick. But then at the academy that I work at is All Star Sports Academy. We have six different facilities within the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
Whether it's teams, lessons, camps, programs, all that good stuff. Like we're here, we do it right. We've been around here for about 25 years,
Wow.
and we just continue to grow, and we do it the right way.
Wow, I like that, man. You got some good information, man. Continue to keep doing your blogs over there at on LinkedIn. I'm always gonna give you a man and keep it up because
Yeah.
we think alike. And I'm gonna close out because I'm gonna respect your time. I appreciate you coming out, Zach. Maybe we catch another segment another time, another day. But you've given some great information. I want to say thank you very much. And I'm gonna ask the question before I close out. This is for the listeners. Hey, the question is, where are you being led? Zach has given us some great information. And so, what does led mean? LED. The L stands for listen. Listen to everything that Zach and I have talked about today. You don't have to. You don't have to like it, but you need to respect it and listen, because faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. And E stands for execute. Execute everything you heard Zach said today. You shouldn't have any problems if you execute. I'm not guaranteeing things gonna be you're gonna make the team, but I can guarantee you this: you're gonna be in a better position because you will reap what you sow. And the last letter is D. Dominate everything that you do, and guess what? Somebody will see you get to the next level. This is Coach Laurie, very own Seville, and Zach. I want to say thank you, Zach. Have a great day, and God bless, bro. I'll see you.
Appreciate you. Thank you
Thank you,
very
man.
much.
Bye bye.